Hey y'all, thanks for joining me today. I'm back in my living room for a few minutes. We have a sick dog today, and so he is calm enough I can make my video in the living room and keep an eye on him at the same time. And I know it might sound silly to some, but please pray for our doggy. We prayed this morning, and I do believe that Lord has already started healing him, but y'all know our animals are part of our family, and when they hurt, we hurt too. At least that's what it's like in my house. So, anyways, we'll get right to it today. And the title of today's devotional is Have You Tried It All? And the scripture that is for today is Psalms chapter 107, verse 9. And it says, For he satisfies the longing soul and fills the hungry soul with goodness. And I'll be honest, I was on my way to work this morning, and right as I was getting out of the car, I had the radio turned down, and because sometimes I just pray and think when I'm on my way to work. A lot of times I pray about what to do the devotional about, and I looked down at my radio, and like I said, the volume was turned down, so I didn't hear it, but I looked down, and it had the song Graves into Gardens on there. And I turned it up because I really like that song. But sometimes I'll turn it up and it'll say that, but it'll just be people talking. I'll have missed the song. But it was just getting started good. And I just sat there and listened to it for a while. And I sang and just had a wonderful moment of praise and worship. And I got in my office and I was like, Lord, what do you want me to write about today? And that song just kept playing over and over again. But I kept hearing, I've searched the world. I've searched the world. And I was like, that's it. That's got to be it. And we do that. We search everywhere. It's like we feel like there's something missing inside of us. Excuse that. I got to remind myself of something. But we search everywhere, high and low. We go, we travel. Some people travel, some people don't. I would rather stay at home. But we travel and we buy things. I'm the world's worst about buying the things. We travel, we buy things, we search out people, we search out significant others, we search out best friends, we search out all these people, places, and things to try and fill this void. And I don't think consciously we realize that it's a void. I don't really know. Oh, I gotta sneeze. I don't really know what we think, because if we thought, hey, there's a void in me and it's because God goes there, but let me go fill it with something else. I truly don't believe any of us think that way. But it is what we do. And we're searching and we're looking and we want all these different things, and what we're really needing is God. We think we need love. We think we need things. We think we need vacations and trips, and we just need a break and we need to rest, and we don't even know what we need. We're grasping at all these things we believe we need, but once we get them, we sit back and it's not much longer. We need something else because we have that void, and only God can fill it. Only His Spirit inside of us can fill that void. And it's not easy to choose God. It's not. I know, like, when you say it out loud, it is. And when you think about it logically, of course it is. It's so easy. Just do this and not that. But this world has influenced us greatly. We have TV, we have the radio, we have social media, and there's all these things going on that are, excuse me, I had to sit up. But we have all these things going on that are trying to grab us, trying to get our attention. And I use this example in the devotion, and I think it's amazing. It really is, because, and I know it didn't come from me, it came from the Lord. But, you see all these TikTok videos and these little things on Facebook where people are like waking up at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, and they're getting to the airport 2 hours before they gotta get on a flight to go on a 2-week vacation somewhere they've never been, and it's fun and it's exciting and they can't wait to go, and then they come back and everything's still the same. So there's nothing wrong with traveling. There's nothing wrong with buying things. There's nothing wrong with any of that stuff. It's when we try to put that stuff where God's supposed to be. Because we'll wake up at 4 and 5 a.m. and get to the airport 2 and 3 hours early because we're excited about a trip. But when it comes to going to Sunday school and being there at 9:30, 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning, we're like, I deserve to stay home and rest. Or you go out and you have the busiest weekend and you go to the beach and you go on a trip and you're home by Sunday for church, but you don't really feel like getting up and going. But you were up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday walking around Disney. So I'm not hating on Disney. I'm not hating on trips. I'm not hating on vacations. I'm not hating on spending money. I love all the things. I do. I like doing them myself. If I could go spend like 3 weeks at the beach, I would do it. And I would love every minute of it because I would just be out there soaking it up, and that's what I would do. But I know that if I do not allow God to place himself inside of me where he goes, in my heart, in my mind, in every aspect of my life, and I put a beach vacation there, nothing else is going to go right. It's not. My attitude's not going to settle right. My frame of mind isn't going to settle right. My focus is going to be off. I'm going to feel weird. Things aren't going to go the way they're supposed to go. Everything around me is going to start looking different. I will get out of my routine and I'll wind up dropping my Bible study. I mean, even the most disciplined person, if you gradually replace one or two things where that was God's time for you with something else, it'll snowball. It's like the domino effect. We say stuff like that all the time, but it really is. If you replace one thing, if you prayed every morning, and this is me right here, I'm pointing my finger at me, because I would get up every morning and go in a prayer closet and at least 3 to 5 minutes. I know that's not a very long time, but I would get on my knees in a closet and focus on God for 3 to 5 minutes and just talk to him for a minute. Even if it was, Lord, thank you for waking me up today. Thank you for it, and I still pray when I'm laying in the bed, but I had disciplined myself to doing it in a prayer closet because that's what I felt like the Lord led me to do. And I got away from that. And it shifted an entire routine, and I took that one thing, and then it was another thing, and it was another thing. It happens just like that, so fast. And I know we think we can do these things, and we think it's not a big deal. And maybe for you it's not at first, but it will catch up with you somewhere down the line. We cannot put the things of this world in the places that only God can go, the places that only God can fill, the things only he can satisfy. Because we were created to praise and worship him. We were created to serve him. We were created to do his will for our lives. He had our lives completely planned out. He knew us before we were formed in our mother's womb. He knows every hair on our head, and he knows every single thing there is to know about us. He knows things about us we don't even know about ourselves. And he said, this is what I have for them. But I'm going to give them free will because I will not force anyone to do anything. And that's what he does. And then we choose. But if we do not choose him in every part of our lives, there's going to be something missing. We're going to go on the outrageous shopping trips. We're going to go on the $10,000 vacations. And I've been watching this show, and I might have already said it, and y'all make fun of me if you want to, but I've been watching Little House on the Prairie, and it was before taxes, but I looked at how, the fathers, they had a little job, but for the most part, they stayed home and helped into the house. They farmed, they took care of the animals, they built things for other people at home, and it was just It was so simple. It was so simple. And God was at the center of all of this. And we just don't do that anymore. We are so consumed with things and going places. And, then there were no vacations. There were no beach vacations. There were no trips to the mountains. Now, if they were making trips to the mountains, it was it was a little different. It wasn't like we go to trips in the mountains and stay in this wildly expensive cabin and go skiing. These things, that's not what it was. But I want us to think today. And I prayed before I started this. I said, Lord, let me think on this. Let me do the right thing. And I hope we all do. Let's choose God in all that we do. Okay? Because only he can fill, oh, here goes the dog. Only he can fill that void. It's a UPS package. Only he can fill that void in our spirit. I love y'all. See you next time.